Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we take a look at college football best bets for Week 5. Kevin Rogers with you as we bring in Brian Edwards to look at three matchups, two in the SEC and one in the Big Ten. And we'll start with the Big Ten championship rematch from last year between Michigan and Iowa. The Wolverines annihilated the Hawkeyes last year. Iowa a heavy underdog this time around. Brian, what's your best bet for the first game?
Iowa plus 10.5. Kirk Ferentz's Hawkeyes have only been double-digit home underdog 4 times in the past decade. They've gone 4-0 against the spread with 2 outright wins. 2017 as an 18.5-point underdog. They pounded Ohio State 55-24. In 2016, they were a 24-point underdog to Michigan, and they beat them 14-13. So, look, I'm obviously concerned about Iowa's offense, where they are awful. But they are elite defensively, number 1 in the nation in scoring defense, only giving up 5.8 points per game. They're number 5 in total defense. And not only are they great defensively, but they create turnovers. They score off turnovers. They had 2 defensive touchdowns last week. And if you're going to be bad on offense, the least you can do is have a great punter who can flip field position. And they have one of, if not the best punters in the country. So Iowa at home catching double digits. Like Michigan, played 3 of the worst teams in the country to start the year. They beat up on Hawaii and Colorado State and UConn, but I'm not, at least they thumped them, but, wins over those teams don't impress me. And then their first decent team they play last week, they, barely win by 7 over Maryland at home. So I'll go Iowa plus 10.5, double-digit home dog.
All right, now let's move over to the SEC, another home underdog here, Brian. Alabama facing Arkansas. Obviously, Alabama's not the dog, but Alabama laying 17 against the Razorbacks. Arkansas, the tough loss to Texas A&M last week. You like the Razorbacks here against the Crimson Tide?
I do. Arkansas completely outplayed Texas A&M last week. KJ Jefferson, one of the best players in the country, but I have no idea what he was doing on that 2nd and goal play where he tried to reach toward the goal line ignorantly, got the ball knocked out, and then, they had him stopped at the 15, and just a great play by that kid to just basically go rip the ball out of his teammate's hand and then go 85 yards. I mean, that was at least a 10-point swing, probably a 14-point swing. And then the missed field goal there at the end was, I know A&M would have had time to go score, but potentially. But, Arkansas should have won that game. So I didn't downgrade Arkansas. And now they're in bounce-back mode, and they're at home getting a big number. We saw what Alabama did in its first true road game, really struggled, and the crowd will be a factor. And, look, Arkansas only lost by 7 last year at Alabama, easily covered. And as a home underdog under Sam Pittman, they're 4-2 against the spread with 3 outright wins. So huge home dog. I will take the Razorbacks, and I rarely fade Alabama, very rarely, but I'm all about it in this spot.
So our next SEC game we'll take a look at, Brian, Kentucky and Ole Miss. The Wildcats have been playing very well so far, but now they travel to Oxford to take on Lane Kiffin's Rebels. Ole Miss a touchdown favorite in this one. Who do you like?
Well, neither team looked very good last week. They were both in one-possession games with a group of 5 teams. Ole Miss didn't even score in the second half, much to the dismay of those that backed the over in that game, which looked like an easy winner, but the scoring just died in the second half. But, Ole Miss is not they're not really throwing the ball nearly as effectively. Now they're running it very well, but, they haven't really played anybody. Kentucky hasn't played much of anybody either other than Florida, but in that game, they found a way to, make some plays on defense, get just enough offense to get a W. And I made Ole Miss 3.5, and that's based on just home field. But I give Kentucky the quarterback advantage, and I will go with Kentucky plus 7. Now, if your number is 6.5. By the half point to 7, but I like Kentucky plus 7.
All right, so to review Brian's 3 selections for Saturday, he's going to take the points with Iowa at home against Michigan. Also, he's going to take Arkansas at home against Alabama, and he is going to back Kentucky as a road underdog against Ole Miss. That is Brian Edwards. Brian, as always, we wish you best of luck. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, best of luck with your bets.